You shout it out, but I can't hear a word you say. I'm talking loud, not saying much. I'm criticized.
And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to the sunrise here on Win TV, Channel 12, and of course, Channel 7. Good morning to you. I'm Hansley Ajoda, and working with me this morning is Faraz Ali, directing, and we've got Francis. It's Francis what, Nigel? Forgot his last name anyway. Francis is on audio this morning. Nigel Paul is always working the floor. The very efficient Indira Dukran working in the newsroom and, of course, producing the show for us. And, of course, we've got Lawrence Arjun as well, who's going to be sitting in the newsroom to bring us the news on the hour. What's on the show this morning? Well, a number of things. As a matter of fact, our very first thing that we'll be focusing on is, of course, the morning poll. The morning poll is going to be looking at Friday's march. Of course, there's a lot of argument with respect to the composition of the crowd for Friday's march. Many people are saying it does not represent the national interest or, of course, represent us nationally as a people. That's one side of the argument. Of course, there's the other that came from Carolyn C. Prasad-Bechan, the new chairman of the COP, and also Dr. Rowley and others who said, well, it's a sign of growing discontent with the government. And that's actually going to be a poll this morning. We're going to be putting it up in just a bit, whether you think that Friday's march is an indication of national discontent with the government. That's one of the stories. Mayor Orlando Nagasa will be dropping in. I'm going to also ask him about Friday's march. He came out, he was quite vocal in the media, and of course he's going to expand on it. In addition to that, we'll talk a little bit about Diwali Nagar, which was launched yesterday. Saw it right here on Win TV, and we ran quite a lot of footage. It was a super success. I was there last night, and I tell you, I was just so impressed with the organization of Diwali Nagar. It never ceases to amaze me, of course. And also, we'll be looking at this day in history. Would you believe today, back in 1935, and I'll be giving you details of it, the game Monopoly, the great Parker Brothers real estate game, was introduced to the world back in 1935 on this day. Now, I've got a video of Sundar Popo. Yesterday was his birth anniversary. That video, of course, was sponsored by Dr. Monilal, Dr. Runal Monilal, and the people of the Oropouche East constituency. Now, we're going to be running that video, and of course, we'll be chatting with Dr. Monilal on his contribution to this. And as you know, the Sundar Popo statue, commemorated, of course, to Sundar Popo and the memory of Sundar Popo, is just opposite the office of the Member of Parliament for Oropouche East. That's right. And we'll be getting a comment from Dr. Monilal on, of course, the extraordinary life of Sundar Popo. So we'll be paying homage to him. You'll be hearing from and meeting, and we'll be talking to her on the phone. Of course, you'll see some images of her, a descendant of the Gandhi family who lives here in Trinidad, and she's the first known practicing lawyer. She was called to the bar on Friday here in Trinidad. She was qualified in India. She worked in the media in India. She also qualified in Great Britain, and now she is here in Trinidad. She's one of the few intellectual property lawyers in TNT. But it's interesting, a member of the Gandhi family here. She's married to a Trinidadian, very handsome and fantastic fellow called Neil Maharaj. So we'll be meeting Gunjan Sharma Maharaj this morning. Descendant of Gandhis are one of the first and only known, from what my knowledge, at least my knowledge, qualified in India and operating here in Trinidad as an attorney at law. She incidentally works for Hamill Smith Company. So we came across her, and we'll be highlighting her as well. So it's quite a number of things. Mayor Orlando Nagasa, Dr. Runal Monilal, and also there are a number of other things that we will be focusing on, including Diwali Nagar. I'm also expecting, by the way, Sunil Ramdeen to come by this morning. We're going to talk a little bit about the launch of the Nagar last night. And I tell you, I was just so impressed with the organization of it. Anyway, let me go across and just make my morning coffee. And we'll just take a look at the news day. And Faraz, if we could just bring up the news day on the monitor for me so that we could take a look at it. Yep. Good. So let me just reach across for my morning coffee. Yeah, there we go. 2 air guards killed. That's right. Very sad story. Birthday party ends in death. 2 air guards, Jamal Edwards, he's dead, and Jamal Anthony. And there's a car. Would you believe that's a car? Would you believe that's a car? Look at that. And a mom and son murdered in Arima. As I go into that story, imagine people came looking for the relatives. This is on page 3. People came looking for Linus White, 65, and a 30-year-old son, Kevon. Kevon, incidentally, was a fire officer. When people came by the family's home, they saw the 2 pit bulls dead in the yard, in a pool of blood, lying in a pool of blood. And of course, the family chopped to death. It's certainly a shocking thing. And the crime continues here in Trinidad and Tobago. Unabated. And I'm not sure what the death toll is, but I'll find out during the course of the morning period. So we're going to be putting up the morning poll when we come back. I don't even think I want to go into more depressing news this morning. Lawrence, of course, has enough of that coming up in the 6 o'clock news. When we come back, we're going to take a little break, and then we're going to talk, we're going to discuss the poll. We'll open the telephone lines on 665-6278, and so much more on the show. So please stay with us. There's more to come.
It's complicated, it always is. That's just the way it goes.
Thank you for joining us again for your morning news update on the Wind Communication Network. I'm Lawrence Arjun. Good morning. Innocent until proven guilty. That was the response of Congress of the People leader Prakash Ramada to calls for the removal of Attorney General Anne Ramlugan and National Security Minister Jack Warner. Ramada says justice was taken when necessary as it relates to the firing of former Justice Minister Herbert Volney following the controversial Section 34 fiasco. He says the government acts on evidence, not allegations.
We asked that the confidentiality of cabinet be lifted so that the population will know what happened. And for the first time that had happened, and there was a consequence where a minister of government was fired. First time in the history of this nation. That was a strengthening of the democracy. We asked for truth. An investigation was conducted, an inquiry by the Prime Minister, and she indicated to the nation what had happened. And the COP is always about acting upon truth and evidence, not about allegations and what people feel or opinions. And therefore, if there is no evidence of somebody doing wrong, we can't take action against them.
He says if evidence is found against both Ramlugan and Warner, he expects the same action against Volney to be taken in this instance.
Where there is, we expect no less that action would be taken, and it was taken in this case.
Meanwhile, the COP leader is not concerned about the Prime Minister's silence on comments made by the National Security Minister. Warner stated that Friday's march lacked diversity. He said that the march lacked mixed and East Indian faces, which sparked nationwide controversy once again. Responding to the Prime Minister's absence in the matter, this is what the COP leader had to say.
We have very strong conversations in the cabinet on all issues of national importance. And rest assured that I do not want to identify any one particular issue, but all matters of national concern that we believe will either negatively or positively impact, we discuss to come with an amicable solution that will bring stability and strength to the government. And that's a very, very important thing, because the stability of a nation is dependent on all of us feeling comfortable that the structures that are in place are not adversely affected.
And where were the persons fighting for democracy before? That was the question posed by the COP leader during a walkabout in Arima on Saturday. Ramada says one of the biggest mistakes made by the former administration was that it never listened to the concerns of citizens. More than anything, he says, the COP is willing to listen to what the nation wants.
The past regime never listened to the people, and we hear now about people wanting to protect democracy. Where were those voices when there was evidence of political manipulation in the arrest of our Chief Justice? And that is a huge blow to democracy. Where were these voices when when Mr. Manning came about with a constitution that would take away the rights of our people? And having said that, let me just say that constitutional reform is critically important. And I have been given that responsibility to deal with it. And in the next couple of weeks, we'll be launching consultations on constitutional reform throughout the country so that the people will have a say as to the constitution they want.
Mr. Ramada says he does not believe Friday's March for Democracy poses any threat to the government. He is, however, assuring that constitutional reform is underway.
The constitution will be drafted based on the wishes of our people. That constitution, as we promised in the manifesto of 2010, would include fixed terms for Prime Minister, fixed election days, referendum, and a host of other things that will strengthen democracy. And that is the approach we take in the Congress of the People and in the People's Partnership.
And in some international news, US President Barack Obama and contender Mitt Romney have 2 days to convince undecided voters that they are worthy of leading the nation. Both men have been campaigning assiduously across the country. The race remains close, and every vote will count come Tuesday. We have more from the BBC.
Diner in downtown Madison, Wisconsin, one of the swing states that's been deluged with political adverts and campaign visits.
It's just a constant barrage, and a lot of times you'll see the same ad multiple times, the same commercial break. It's just getting hard to watch TV.
You can ask my daughter here if I'm a fan of the ads. I can't wait till Tuesday when they go away.
For the candidates, the frantic pace of last-minute campaigning continues, all in battleground states. Barack Obama's day started in New Hampshire, and from there zigzags across the country, from Florida to Ohio and Colorado. Mitt Romney is no less busy, starting in Iowa in the Midwest and hopping over to Ohio, Pennsylvania and Virginia. In these final hours, the message on each side is getting starker. Mitt Romney's pitch in Iowa today was that he's a successful businessman and former governor with a 5-point plan for economic recovery.
I helped turn my state from deficit to surplus, from job losses to job growth, and from higher taxes to higher take-home pay. That's why I'm running for president. I want to help the country do those same things.
I like Barack Obama as decider-in-chief better.
Added star power at the Obama rally in New Hampshire today, former President Bill Clinton, a reminder of days when Americans enjoyed prosperity. And Barack Obama's own message that he looks after all Americans, not just the wealthy.
I will fight for you and your families every single day as hard as I know how, as long as I've got the privilege to be your president.
Barack Obama does feel as though he's got a new spring in his step, buoyed up by the chance to show leadership over the hurricane. But even at this late stage, it could rebound. There are plenty of people in devastated areas who are feeling frustrated. In New York and New Jersey, tens of thousands are still struggling to cope. And the governor of New York this morning warned that a sudden cold snap could make even more people homeless.
People are in homes that are uninhabitable. It's going to become increasingly clear that they're uninhabitable when the temperature drops and the heat doesn't go on.
The freezing weather is increasing demands for fuel, too. In Hoboken, which was badly flooded, the queues for gas stretch round the corner. In some places, even getting food is a problem.
Now to go into supermarkets and see them bare, that's when you realize it is bad. It is bad.
I went through World War II as a little girl and used to run home to tell my mother that Wonder Bread was being delivered. Well, that's what it looks like now. Somebody's going to run home and say, the bread man is here.
Both Republicans and Democrats are predicting victory for themselves on Tuesday, but for the hurricane victims still struggling to put their lives together, this election is hardly top priority.
And that brings us to the end of the morning news updates on the Wind Communication Network. We now continue with Sunrise with Hanselia Jodo.
It's complicated, it always is. That's just the way it goes.
Right. Welcome back, everybody. And His Worship is already here, Orlando Nagisa, and we're going to be talking to him in about 5 to 10 minutes' time. We've got quite a lot to talk about, in addition to his comments with respect to Friday's march. And our morning poll question, incidentally, has to do with that. And we're going to put it up on the screen for you right now, and you can get to your telephones immediately, 665-6278. And this is, of course, one of the more popular features now on the show. Do you believe that Friday's march is a sign of national discontent with the government? Do you believe Friday's march is a sign of national, and I emphasize national, discontent with the government? There's been a war of words with respect to saying from certain quarters, particularly political quarters. We heard Jack Warner, of course, making certain pronouncements. The new chairman of the Congress of the People, Carolyn C. Prasad Bechan, also said that she felt that the march represented us a national cross-section of the country. It was well represented. Jack Warner, of course, questioned that. His Worship also had placed several question marks on that march, saying that it didn't represent all of Trinidad and Tobago. Let's throw it out now. 665-6278. And you just say yes or no. Do you believe Friday's march is a sign of national discontent with the government? Is there discontent? Is this the winter of our discontent or the summer of our discontent? And we'll take your calls on 665-6278. That's 665-6278. And we'll bring up these calls right about now. By the way, we've also got this day in history. Nige, do we have any calls standing by? Okay, good. So we could go to, there's the question. Phone us on 665-6278. Do you believe that Friday's march is a sign of national discontent with the government? Good. 665-6278. And by the way, today, as I told you at the start of the show, 1935, on this day, November 5th, the game Monopoly was introduced by Parker Brothers, the most popular board game, I still think so, Your Worship, the most popular board game in history. On November 5th, 1935, the world's most popular board game, Monopoly, is first marketed on a broad scale by the Parker Brothers Toy Company. The game's history begins before this, however, when Clarence Darrow created a game using Atlantic City street names. The game is named after the economic concept of monopoly, the domination of a market by a single entity. He approached both Milton Bradley and the Parker Brothers with the idea to sell his game in 1933. Parker Brothers turned him down, citing 52 fundamental flaws with the game. The major flaws was that there is hardly ever a true winner, and the game was time-consuming. Yet despite this, they were persuaded by November 5th, 1935, to publish the game, which turned out to be a major accomplishment. The game has been sold in 81 countries in 27 different languages, including a Braille edition. The longest game of record was played for a whopping, and listen to this, 1,680 hours. One game of Monopoly lasted 1,680 hours. Today, over 500 million players from across the globe have been mesmerized by the game, and it remains a classic passed down, of course, a keepsake in most families, making it the most popular board game in the world. Parker Brothers. And the man who invented the game, Clarence Darrow. Yes, indeed. So let's put back up the morning poll now. And Nige, how are we doing with respect to our calls now coming in? Do you believe that Friday's march is a sign? And let's put it up on the screen one more time. Do you believe Friday's march is a sign of national discontent with the government? Is this discontentment that we're witnessing here? All right? 665-6278. Let's take those calls. How are we doing? Good. Good morning. Where are you calling from?
Diego Martin? No.
Yeah. Hi, Diego Martin. You're saying?
No.
No. So Diego Martin is saying, no, you don't believe that Friday's march is a sign of national discontent with the government. Let's take another caller. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. Where are you calling from?
Freeport.
Freeport. All right, Freeport. What do you say?
No. It was
No.
a PNM march.
It was a what?
A PNM march.
All right. Okay. If you say so. All right, ma'am. Let's take this other caller. Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Sadly,
Yes, okay. Where are you calling from? Chaguanas. Okay, Chaguanas believes that it is a sign of national discontent with the government. And I emphasize national. This is why we're saying national this morning. Do you believe that we were represented nationally in that march as well? Yes, let's take this caller. Hello, good morning.
good morning.
Hi, morning, sir.
I'm calling from Laramie.
Laramine. Yes, Laramine?
The answer is no.
No. All right, okay, good. All right, let's take this other caller. Calls are coming in fast and furious now. Good morning.
Morning, Anthony.
Good morning, sir.
This is Lapai here.
Lapai. Nice to hear from you.
Yes, sir. I says no. I believe it's for PNM politically orchestrated. Thank you.
All right, Lapai. Thank you very much and nice to hear from you. Thanks for joining us. And he's now no longer listening to radio shows. He's viewing our show. Let's take this caller. Hello, good morning.
Hi, morning to you, Anthony.
Good morning.
From Mount Do. No.
Mount Do. Okay, Mount Do is saying no. All right. Let's take this other caller. Hello, good morning. Calls are coming in fast and furious. Oh, we lost that one. Going to take another. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Hi, sir. Good morning.
Princestown.
Princestown.
I think Mr. Rowley is making his coffin. No.
All right. He's making his what?
Coffin.
His coffin. Okay. All right. I saw him last night. He attended Diwali Nagar. He was there with Mrs. Beckles and a number of other people. That was, who was that again? That was that last caller? Laramine. That was Laramine. No, it wasn't Laramine. Can't remember where that last caller was from. Let me take this other caller. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Morning.
Morning. Where are you calling from?
Kunupia.
Kunupia. Okay. What do you say, Kunupia?
No.
All right. And the last caller was Laramine, was it? Or Point Fortin? Laramine? You remember? Huh? You can't remember? Yeah. Guys, if you all could... Anyway, I'll put it as Laramine. And Kunupia also says no, right? Let's take this other caller. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, ma'am. Listen to me on your phone. Don't listen to me on your TV. Otherwise, you'll hear a delay.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Hello.
Mount Lambert. Mount Lambert.
Mount Lambert. What do you say, Mount Lambert?
No.
No. Mount Lambert says no. So far, one Chaguanas saying yes. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Mount Lambert, of course, saying no. We've got a wide cross-section of people here. Diego Martin, Freeport, Laramine, Lapai, Mount Do, Laramine, Kunupia, Mount Lambert. Let's take this other caller. Hello, good morning. 665-6278. That's 665-6278. And let's put the question back up on the screen. And do you believe that Friday's march is a sign of national discontent with the government? We're going to take a couple more calls.
There's a Rowley march. What say no?
Freeport says no. All right. Freeport says no. Okay, good. 665-6278. That's 665-6278. There were several groups inside there. Don't you believe that this may be a sign of national discontent? Hello, good morning.
Good morning. This is Barataria. No.
Barataria says no. All right, good. Let's take this other caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, ma'am. Where are you calling from?
Tacarigua.
Yes, Tacarigua. And what do you say?
No.
No. All right, Tacarigua says no. See our wine? We've got a nice wine listenership, viewership. Hello, good morning. Yes, where are you calling from? Yes,
Morning, calling from DB.
DB, yes, DB. What do you say?
I say no.
No. Okay. DB says no. All right, gentlemen, we're going to try to take as many calls, 20 calls. Let's see. This is swinging heavily. Let's take this other caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, ma'am. Where are you calling from?
Calling from Santa Rosa Heights.
Santa Rosa Heights in Arima.
Yes, in Arima.
Yeah.
We say no. Definitely not.
No. Santa Rosa says no. All right. So we go on from Davie to Santa Rosa. Tell you, gentlemen, let's take another caller. Hello, good morning.
Yes,
Yes, hello. Where are you calling from?
I calling from Sangre Grande.
Sangre Grande.
And I say no, that is PNM politics.
All right, okay, if you're saying so. So far, one from Chaguanas saying yes. From yours, your worship, from your town. Let's take this other caller. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Andy.
Hi, morning, sir.
Maracas Valley say no.
Beautiful Maracas Valley. What a gorgeous place. I envy you. It must be A sight to wake up there in Maracas Valley. Let's take this other caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Joda.
Good.
It's a pleasure to see you.
It's a pleasure to hear from you.
My answer is no.
Where are you calling from?
San Fernando.
San Fernando.
Yes,
San Fernando. Good. I'll be there a little later on this morning talking to your mayor this morning. I'm interviewing your mayor. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, ma'am. Morning. Where are you calling from?
Chaguanas.
Okay.
No.
Chaguana says no. You brought great relief to his worship. Hello, good morning. Hello. Yes, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, ma'am. Where are you calling from? Where's this?
El Socorro.
El Socorro. Okay. What do you say, El Socorro?
No.
No. Okay. El Socorro says no. Gentlemen, let me just do some quick mathematics here. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We're going to take one more caller to make it 20. 20 calls in under 5 minutes. Let's take this caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
The caller that you missed was from Princeton just now.
Thank you very much for
But
that.
I'm calling from Tablan. No.
No, Tableland says no. All right, good. That's it, 20 calls. Okay, gentlemen, we have 19. So we've got to work up the percentages now. 19 that says no, 95%, 5%. 95% saying no, so we're going to put it up right afterwards. Thank you very much. You know, our worship was a teacher and, of course, a former principal. So these are things that will always be on the tip of his fingers. So 95% saying no, they do not believe. And let's put back up the question for us, if we can, please. And one from Chaguana saying yes. Do you believe Friday's march is a sign of national discontent with the government? 20 calls in under 5 minutes. And they're from all over: Diego Martin, Freeport, La Romaine, La Paille, Mount Dore, Princestown, Cunupia, Mount Lambert, Freeport, Chaguanas, Barataria, Tacarigua, Debe, Santa Rosa, Sangre Grande, Maracas, San Fernando, El Socorro, and Tableland. Now, if anything represents national, it's that. Except we didn't get any calls from Tobago. This is something we need to handle. We must fix this. We must fix this. All right, so that's it. We'll be right back with his worship, Mayor Orlando Nagasa. We're going to discuss Friday's march. We're also going to discuss what's happening in Chaguanas. And pretty soon, a new feature is going to be started, maybe once every fortnight, where we'll be discussing issues of the borough. And that's going to be sponsored by the Chaguanas Borough Corporation. But his worship was quite vocal about what happened on Friday. He was also present last night at the Diwali Nagar. And I want to ask him a little bit about, are we going to be paving that lovely piece of land next door that's a nice extra car park for other cars to park inside there? But it was pretty muddy yesterday. I tell him my good friend Kiran Singh and I had to walk through some mud. Is that something that maybe some of the contractors who have enjoyed the fruits of this magnificent government of ours, maybe they could, go paving something there? Because I'm sure Dr. Rowley and Mr. Beckles probably, I hope they parked inside as opposed to parking in the new car park. I parked in the new car park, and I got mud all over my shoes. We'll be right back after this. Don't you go away, everybody. His worship, Orlando Nagasa, up next.
It's complicated, it always is. That's just the way it goes.
Quiet. Okay, welcome back to the show. And with me is, well, both, how do I say this? Their worships? No, no, their worship, of course, not their worships, but their worship. Mayor Orlando Nagasan, of course, Deputy Mayor, Mr. Gopal Budan. Gentlemen, welcome and good morning. Lovely to see you in the studio. And, you know, having both my mayors here, my mayor and my deputy mayor in studio while in Chaguanas is certainly an honor, especially on a Monday morning. So it means that the week is going to be a fantastic one.
But we always say Win TV is our TV. It's Chaguanas TV. And it's always a pleasure, Hansley, to be here. And you have added a lot of interest in this station. Again, I congratulate you, especially in bringing this morning show.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Now, you just came back from China.
Yes.
Mr. Budan, tell me about it.
Well, it was a 3 weeks experience in terms of economic development and, you know, mutual cooperation. And the main course that was the material was how the development of small communities into cities.
Okay.
And two of the most important
a lot of that has been happening in China. Eh?
Yes. Yes. And there's a Chinese proverb that you want to get rich, build roads.
Yeah. Okay.
So, in other words, you build roads to get into communities, and then you expand it into towns and into cities.
Do you know that is so right? I've often said that once you connect people, as long as you connect people, you're going to create economy, right? Create more commerce and more business. That's something that we didn't see in the early stages of Trinidad. We had so much rural neglect that you cut off places like Toco, you cut off Sangre Grande, you cut off Pinal, you cut off Siparia. And with all these link roads and M2 ring roads that were developed over the years, you started to see new areas, these once neglected communities just burgeoning and becoming like a new Chaguanas. And you're seeing it all over.
Correct. And this is the vision of the government. This new highway from Golconda to Point.
Yeah.
This is what is in their mind.
Yeah.
You
To build it like that.
To build towns around the highway. This is actually what the government has in mind. And people are protesting that.
Yeah. But coming back to our deputy mayor, so you're saying that
Yes, the link for Chaguanas. Now, Chaguanas you get the best bargains, the fastest growing town in Trinidad and Tobago and probably the Caribbean. But it is exciting now in terms of the development of Chaguanas. Because what we have is the present Chaguanas, and we had to do the mindset in terms of developing a new Chaguanas, because eventually Chaguanas is going to be the education capital of this country.
Education capital and the financial capital, because I realize that Republic Bank is already here, and more people are going to be moving everything down there.
All the banks are in Chaguanas. And then Central Campus is coming to Chaguanas.
Yeah.
COSTAT also in Chaguanas. And a new abattoir is going to be built. And there are so many new businesses coming into Chaguanas.
But Chaguanas has burst her seams.
Actually,
so where are you going to put all of this here?
The decentralization of ministries coming into Chaguanas.
How many ministries coming here?
So far, we have 3. The Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of Industry, and the Ministry, I believe, of Community Development.
Oh, Vasant Bharat is coming to Central?
Yeah.
Trade and Industry is coming to Central? That's magnificent news. Where are they going to be located?
Lands are really the E-Tech Park on Factory Road.
Yeah.
Actually, it's earmarked for the Ministry of when Mr. Cadiz was that minister, and it still stands.
Yes.
And other ministries want to come into Central Trinidad.
Yeah.
And I believe this is one of the protest action of the last Friday.
Well, that's what I want to jump into this morning. That's what I want to talk about.
Was hidden agenda in the protest. One of the opposition MPs said, too many things are coming to Central Trinidad and South. All this is a potpourri. They're hiding behind clause 34.
But people have been leaving South, Deep South, Central, and going to Port of Spain for the last 30 years, gentlemen, descending on Port. We know what the nightmare is. I mean, it is something that people had to endure. Decentralizing has been on cards for a long, long time. Here it is in reality. And now people who are presenting themselves as the alternative government, how could you possibly oppose that kind of thing?
Correct. We already brought the passport office into Chaguanas.
Yeah.
We have it here. We are bringing the electronic boot paper that is coming to Chaguanas. The licensing office is actually coming in Castle Field. So you don't have to go for one of these Modoka when you buy a car, you get a certified
So
copy.
copy,
You have to wait 3
everything,
weeks
yeah.
and 4 weeks in Port of Spain. That is coming into Central Trinidad. So a lot of decentralization, and this is what the country needs. Why should everything be in Port of Spain? You tell me why.
You know, Hansi, you know, and this is a proven question, other than you have to ask this question. Right? What is wrong that if this present government is leveling the playing field? What is wrong?
Well, what it does is take away your advantage because we have the politics of tribalism in this country and we have geographical cubbyholes, so to speak, where people dig their heels in. They're totally entrenched with one political party, regardless of, you know, and both sides can be accused of the same thing. You see the territoriality of the political parties. And that's why. But if this government is leveling the playing field, ultimately what we're doing is bringing complete and utter satisfaction to an entire nation that has suffered for too long. People in Deep South have to wake their children up 4 o'clock in the morning to jump in the car to leave home at 5 to get, because I tell you, if you leave after 5:30 from South, you're late for Port of Spain.
Because even the same thing with the passport office, and the mayor would know that we move motions, we actually beg, plead. We did everything we give when the passport office was on Ramstrand Street, that for 2 years, or probably close to 3 years, office space to the Ministry of National Security at no cost. The borough absorbed all that because of the fact that the people in our community, you had old people who the children would want to send a ticket for them to come to New York or Canada or something. And they had to go like 3 o'clock in the morning to line up and wait outside the passport office in Port of Spain to get a passport. It is wrong. Little children, their parents have to take them to go and get up. It is wrong. So this is why we fight to get that passport office in Chaguanas. All because it is about the happiness of the people that, you know, that we serve in the borough of Chaguanas.
Are we going to be, now we're talking about, Science and Tertiary is coming just on the Narsalura Maya Road.
Yes.
Now, that's the expansion on the eastern side.
Even the office of the minister, I forgot to mention that, the Tertiary Education Ministry, their headquarters will also be in Chaguanas, next to the central university.
That's Fazal Karim. So Fazal Karim is coming.
He's also coming.
That's the eastern side of the highway. What about the western side? Because I know that there are plans. Clearly, Chaguanas can't cater for anything more. You've got to start expanding east and west. Past Woodford Lodge, what are we going to be doing now?
Well, this is what I mentioned. The Ministry of Agriculture, the lands have already been cleared.
Right.
That is close to Joyce Road.
Yeah.
The acres of land there that the last government had it for housing. The present government have cancelled that idea.
Right.
The last government was concerned with housing in Central.
Yeah.
All over was a little pipe up in the air, building houses all over Chaguanas.
Yeah.
That has stopped. This government, they have redefined the land use, and they are actually decentralizing a lot of ministries. On the same southern side, not the western, southern side, they're also bringing the Ministry of Industry and Commerce as on Factory Road.
Good.
87 acres of land have been identified there for E-Tech.
E-Tech Park.
E-Tech Park. The ministry will be part of that. I mentioned before, Mr. Karim is opening our site. Also, at the corporation, we have, together with the Ministry of Local Government, develop a land use plan. How the lands in and around use. Some for agriculture, some for housing, some for expansion, some for industry, and so on.
Who are you doing that in conjunction with?
The
Is
Ministry
that
of
something?
Local government.
Local government.
And the Ministry of Planning and Development.
All right. And of course, the Chaguanas Borough Corporation is involved in the entire exercise. So are we going to have some of the, are we going to see more housing developments outside of HDC, private developers like we had in Orchard Gardens and we had in other places like we saw in Lash Park there, that level of development?
Well, the Edinburgh 500 is now Edinburgh 10,000, but 500 again. And this has been done both by government. We have the EGC building houses, and also Mr. Bahadur Singh, Caribbean Housing.
Right.
They've expanded all to the Balmoral Park and other parks in there. Houses have actually reached the Castlefield area. Thousands of houses have been added to that 500. I mentioned before, it's now Edinburgh 500. You're right. Also, right now, the government is building 1,000 houses down Egypt Village. It's next to the Aberdeen Samaru Park.
Well, of course, that was a controversial, that's where HDC bulldozed a couple, some farmers over there and some crops. So they're going ahead with it.
Yes, no, the farmers are relocated.
Right.
They're relocated. those houses, they are near completion, they're ready for occupation.
Good. Gentlemen, when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about Friday's march, because I want to focus a little bit on that. Also coming up, we'll be focusing on Gunjan Sharma. Yesterday was the birth anniversary of Sundar Popo. We've got a video produced by my company, a film company, and it's sponsored by the people of Oropouche East. It's a unique video and also considered to be one of the best videos made, and highlighting the life and, of course, the career of Sundar Popo. And the song is done by Chris Garcia. He came second in the last Chutney Soca Monarch with this song. So all that and more coming up just after 7 o'clock. Their worship is here with me, and we got so much more to talk about on the sunrise. Don't you go away. We'll be right back.
Thank you for joining us for your morning news update on the Wind Communication Network. I'm Lawrence Arjun. Good morning. Leader of the Movement for Social Justice, David Abdullah, has dispelled claims that a political alliance is being formed between his party, members of the Joint Trade Union Movement, and the opposition People's National Movement. In a phone interview with 7 Eyewitness News, Abdullah said Friday's march was simply groups of people standing up for what they believe is right. He made the comment in response to a statement made by the Attorney General, Anand Ramlogan, that the MSJ, along with union leaders and the opposition, are secretly forming a coalition of their own.
It's not an attempt to form any political alliance with the PNM. This was standing up to all those organizations, and there were many NGOs and so on. In addition to trade unions, there were many NGOs which came out, and members, just ordinary citizens, came out who wanted to make a statement.
Abdullah stated the government still has questions to answer as it relates to Section 34 and the AG's involvement. He says if no action is taken following last Friday's demonstration, the MSJ will take another stance.
I'll be convening the next meeting of the roundtable shortly, and following that roundtable meeting, we will issue a statement as we have done in the past, and the media and through you, the country, will be advised of what the next step is.
A total of $100,000 worth of high-grade Jamaican marijuana was found by a team of officers from the Northeastern Division Task Force in the Maturita area of Rima on Saturday. The officers found approximately 4 kilograms of the compressed marijuana concealed in a bag in the bushes. They also found a loaded semi-automatic pistol in the bag. No one was, however, arrested. The investigations were spearheaded by Sergeant Roger Alexander, Corporal Sunil Bharat, PCs Nicholas Martin, and Satish Mahabir. And Tourism Minister Stephen Cadiz says that statements made by Nicki Minaj about HIV/AIDS in Trinidad and Tobago are wrong. In an interview with the UK Guardian last Thursday, Minaj stated that 250,000 people are living with AIDS in TNT. She also said 40% of local adolescents were not educated about HIV/AIDS. Minister Cadiz has since stated that these statements were obviously erroneous and have to be corrected. The Ministry of Tourism will soon embark on a public relations campaign to correct the matter. Minaj is the face of MAC Cosmetics' 2012 Viva Glam line of lipsticks. Viva Glam sales support the MAC AIDS Fund, a charity organization providing grants to non-governmental organizations and community programs focused on HIV/AIDS outreach. Minister Cadiz explained that there is not a need for much concern, adding that local HIV prevalence has never had negative impact on tourism. And taking a look at sport, Trinidad and Tobago under-20 coach Ross Russell says he is confident that the team will do well in the upcoming CONCACAF qualifier today. The young Soca Warriors, who left for Jamaica on Saturday, will open the series against Puerto Rico. Russell says he does not wish to emulate past coaches. What is important, he says, is trying your best to succeed. Coach Russell says he has faith in his team and is satisfied with the conditions of the players thus far. And looking at international news, 11 are injured following a bomb attack at Damascus. Syrian opposition groups are convening various meetings in Qatar to fight against President Bashir al-Assad. Rebels have captured an oil field along the Iraqi border as fighting continues. The BBC tells us more.
More devastation as smoke billows over the Damascus skyline. This, the aftermath of the latest explosion outside the Labour Union building, apparently caused by a bomb planted underneath a car. State television called it the work of terrorists, saying they'd planted a 50-kilogram device. Whoever is responsible, this explosion shows few can feel safe, even in the heart of the Syrian capital. It happened meters from a hotel used by members of the team of UN Arab League envoy Lakhdar Brahimi, and also close to the headquarters of the Army Chief of Staffs. Meanwhile, in Doha, hundreds of Syrian opposition figures have been meeting. They're hoping to produce a new, more unified leadership as they continue to battle for control of their country. The hope is that a body more representative of fighters inside Syria will attract more support from the outside.
For us in the Syrian National Council, we have made a decision to partake in talks with other opposition movements. That's in order to work out the duties we need to perform as Syrian opposition leaders, so that we can speed up the fall of the regime.
Allahu Akbar. That regime of President Bashar al-Assad appears to be vigorously continuing its pursuit of opposition forces. These pictures, impossible to verify, are believed to show fighter jets pounding Ghouta to the east of Damascus. The relentless intensity of this war is further borne out by reports of new clashes in areas including Aleppo, Idlib, Taftanas and Deir ez-Zor province. This apparent shelling in Deraa just one more scene of destruction as the death toll of Syria's conflict continues to rise and an end appears no nearer.
And that brings us to the end of the morning news based on the Wind Communication Network. I'm Lawrence Arjun. Good morning.
Right, welcome back. And with us is, of course, His Worship, Mayor Orlando Nagasad, of course, Deputy Mayor, His Worship, Mr. Gopal Bhudan. We got a number of things to discuss. I almost said Giles. For us, if we can get Gunjan Sharma on the phone so that we could talk to her before she goes off to her office this morning. A history-making event here in Trinidad, and I want to talk to her, and I'll be putting up a picture here for you all to see. So if you could get Gunjan on the phone and if we could line up the photograph of Gunjan, I'll be more than grateful, gentlemen, so that I can chat with her before she takes off to Port of Spain. She's working out of Hammersmith. Gunjan, of course, is a descendant of the Gandhi family, and she's also the first known Indian attorney at law, qualified in India, also qualified in Great Britain, and married here in Trinidad to a very famous family, living in Trinidad, and of course practicing law. She was called to the bar on Friday. So I'll be talking to her just a bit, right? So just indicate to me for us when we're all ready with that. Just before we took the break, gentlemen, let's talk a little bit about Friday's march. Well, you saw the morning poll. We had 95% who said that they do not believe that represented any national discontent with this government. I must say that it was a big turnout. What was the final figure? It was something like 20,000, was it?
Well, we have heard different figures.
Yeah.
I look at the aerial shot. I followed the march, and they had during the period of the march, they had little shots on the TV, 2 or 3 TV stations. Every half an hour, they're giving a rundown. I think at the peak of the march, I think they were below my own personal feeling, they were below 10,000.
Below 10,000?
When Dr. Rowley spoke, the promenade, I believe it was 3,000 or 4,000. The people have left and moved. I don't know where this 20,000 came from. Regardless, what caught me is when one of the stations interviewed a few people in between the crowd.
Yeah.
Tell me, what are you marching for? And nobody could have answered.
I'll hold that as a cliffhanger. I hope this is not cynicism on your part, Your Worship. But let me put the picture up, and for us, if we could put it up here, so because both our mayors would love to see this young lady, but she's on the line with me right now. She worked in the media, incidentally, and there she is. She's Gunjan Sharma Maharaj. She's a descendant of the Gandhis. Her mother, incidentally, works for a major publication in India. She was here. Her uncle, Virender Sood, is also a human rights advocate and a high court attorney working out of the high court in India. Well, and she's the first known practicing attorney, Indian-born practicing attorney, trained in India and also Great Britain and here in Trinidad. And she was called to the bar on Friday working with the Hamel-Smith Company. Good morning, Gunjan, and welcome.
Hi, Hansley. How are you this morning?
Very good, thank you, and congratulations again. You look lovely on television right now. I think you're seeing yourself on TV.
Yes, I am. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Listen, congratulations to you. This must be a great achievement being called to the bar here in Trinidad and Tobago, and it is our belief from our research that you're the first known Indian national operating as an attorney. How true is that?
Yeah. It feels great. I feel humbly honored, and especially in this country where India holds a special importance. I don't think any other country in the world has this kind of importance of India and the culture and the people, and it just feels so proud to be Indian. It never felt like that before.
And well, I know what that feels like on a daily basis. But Gunjan, here you worked in the media in India as well.
Yes.
And of course, your mom is also attached to a major newspaper there as well. Just tell me a little bit about that. Tell me the history of that.
Yeah, my mother, she is a legal journalist. She's also a lawyer. She works for the news agency, United News of India, and she covers courts and Supreme Court and the legal fraternity. I was a qualified lawyer, intellectual property lawyer, but my last job in India was with Financial Express, and I was their legal analyst. I used to cover Ministry of Legal Affairs and all the new laws coming and everything. And my uncle is a counsel for central government. He's also a lawyer. They had visited here recently, and we went around to the courts and thing, and it was a very nice experience for them to see a contrast between India and Trinidad courts.
What were your, of course, you coming here to Trinidad and being married to a Trinidadian, what were your first impressions, especially coming from such a vast place as India and coming from a subcontinent and a place that has now become a world superpower? How do you compare? And what was your first impressions of Trinidad?
Honestly, as a matter of fact, when I was back in India and I met Neil, I had never heard about Trinidad. When he first told me that they have a 40% Indian population here, I looked up the internet and everything. And the first time I landed here was after my wedding. When I came here, it was so surprising to see how they have preserved the culture and the traditions which we don't have in India. And it's very surprising that the way Diwali is celebrated here, it's not celebrated as traditionally in India anymore. It has become a party and more of a Western kind of celebration, and people have forgotten that it's actually a religious celebration.
Do you view this as something that's backward about us, or do you view this as something that's as a positive trait to Trinidad, the fact that we've preserved such...
I don't think tradition can be backward.
Yeah.
Tradition is always tradition, and it takes a lot to keep up with such old traditions, and I give Trinidad a lot of credit. I think India should import some tradition from Trinidad now.
You got our mayors laughing. They find that quite amusing. We're certainly
There
right.
are so many things I've learned here about my tradition that we didn't learn in India, that people don't know. They've lost it, so our parents never taught that. And now I tell my friends back home that this is what it is. This is the history, and it's so surprising that Trinidad is sending back some of the tradition now.
You're a descendant, your mom actually is and you, of course, is a descendant of the Gandhi family.
Well, a Gandhi family, yes, because my mother's maiden name is Gandhi, and it's quite a common surname, but I'm not sure if Mahatma Gandhi's and our ancestors connect somewhere.
Yes.
But I would like to find that out. But yes, I'm a descendant of a Gandhi family. My grandfather was also a veteran journalist for Times of India, and he was a freedom fighter. He was a Gandhi, and he worked, I'm sure he must have came across must have crossed paths with Mahatma Gandhi at some point in his freedom struggle.
So he was part of the struggle for independence?
Well, my grandfather was,
Yes.
not me.
That would have been certainly a great time and a great moment for so many people, especially for someone coming from a family as such. Operating here in Trinidad now as an attorney, you're into intellectual property. You're certainly bringing new ideas here to Trinidad. Intellectual property is, while we have a lot of laws here in Trinidad, I know that we don't necessarily enforce it because we still have, I know this is just one part of intellectual property, but we still have a lot of fellas who are driving their little carts along the roadway, playing other people's music without paying any sort of rights and that sort of thing to it. I know that's just one part of it. But how do you view the intellectual property laws in Trinidad and how we recognize intellectual property in Trinidad and Tobago as an attorney trained in it and coming to an island such as ours?
Intellectual property in Trinidad, just like in India, is still a budding field. It's not very well established, and there are a lot of researches going on and everything. And since the invention industry is not so big, it's more for people who are coming from outside. But for the entertainment industry, I think that's such a big field here because so much inbred music and all this chutney and soca and Marshall Montano and cricket teams and all that is a part of intellectual property. And I think it's a big budding field here. Once people recognize their rights, most people don't know that their work is copyrightable and they could get trademarks and protect their work. And once that awareness is there, there's so much talent. I see so much talent in Trinidad, and people could still protect. They can get copyright in their music and sell it to the world and get rights and everything. I see a lot of potential in Trinidad in terms of intellectual property, and I would like to be a specialized entertainment lawyer here someday because it is a budding field here for sure.
All right, thank you. Gentlemen, do you have any questions for Gunjan?
No, just to welcome her to Trinidad and let her know the Gandhi family was spoke about last night at the Diwali Nagar. She is married to a very, very popular family. It's not like the Gandhis, but I tell you, they're very upright and loving people in Trinidad.
When he traces history, he's in Captain Ganj, which is also where my family is from, in Uttar Pradesh, in UP.
You know what caught me at the Nagar last night was this African boy who's been trained in India, Kathak dancing. He was fantastic.
Yeah, did you see that on TV, Gunjan?
Oh, no, I missed that part. Because I recently have a baby and I have a full-time job looking after the baby all the time.
Well, he's of African descent from Mayaro and trained in Kathak dancing, and he's from where you're from. He lives now in Delhi.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he lives in Delhi.
Also, we had a wife of Hariom Sharan there.
Yes, Hariom Sharan's wife is also here. So I think you and Neil need to go down to the Diwali Nagar and sample more of this preserved culture.
They will be appearing tonight also.
Yeah.
Stage.
But Gunjan, I want to congratulate you. I mean, this is fantastic. It's certainly an honor to know you. And if we could just put a lovely picture back up. This is Gunjan, of course.
Thank you very much. And I would like to compliment you on your show. You're doing a great job. And I've been watching it since morning. And it's so nice to just see everything in this one show. And you're done for the day.
I know. We have a very full show in 2 hours.
Yeah, we invite you to come to Chaguanas, pay a visit to Chaguanas, call at the mayor's office, and we'll have a chat there.
So you have an open invitation from His Worship.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
All right, Gunjan, thank you very much. I know you've got to look after the baby and take off to work. And give Neil my love and everybody at home there in San Fernando.
Thank you very much, Hansley. Thank you.
And
you have a great day.
And I hope the family, give me the feedback on the family in India. They're probably looking at it. What's the time in India right now as they're looking at the show?
It should be 5 in the evening.
Oh, okay. That's pretty early because most Indians get up very late anyhow.
Yeah, we start very late.
All right. Thank you very much, Gunjan. Congratulations again and best of luck to you here in TNT. Well, that's Gunjan Sharma Maharaj there, gentlemen. And of course, let's continue with our discussion. We're going to leave it as a cliffhanger. And of course, for those of you who want to get in and talk to our mayors, 665-6278 with your permission. That's okay. 665-6278. We'll be happy to put the numbers up and they'll be happy to entertain the calls. All right, so let's jump back on the march. I accuse you of cynicism with respect to what people were saying.
There's no. Anybody who had looked at the excerpts that they're having during the period of the march would have witnessed this, especially on CNC3. There were people, who have been interviewed intermittently during the march in the crowd.
Yeah.
And a good many of them said they did not know what they were marching for, just joined the march for curiosity, so to speak, to be part of the thing, There's a thing in Port of Spain. So we are marching. But my own impression that is there was a hidden agenda in that march. Clause 34 was a face. There are things that are being perturbed by some of the opposition MPs. For example, that statement of too many things are coming to Central and South Trinidad is something that you have to think about. And probably the protest could be part of that.
Do you see that they're trying to hold on, and rightly so, that the PNM is trying to hold on to the territories that exist? If you decentralize, it's certainly a stab at the heart of Port of Spain and, of course, environs, etc. It is, indeed, if you decentralize.
Correct, 30 years they haven't built a hospital in Point.
Yeah.
Now the government is about to turn the sod to build a hospital. So all these things, they're irritating. They're one after the other. It is in the heads of the opposition, and they use this as they close the default as a front. But far we are concerned, as the Prime Minister said, was a misstep. They went to the Parliament, repealed the act, and let's continue.
My concern is that everybody voted for this thing. Even David Abdullah admitted that they did so in the Senate as well when it came there, and there were certain things that were overlooked. We got to call up, Your Worship. Let me just take this caller. Hello, good morning. Hello. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, sir. Where are you calling from?
Aruka.
All right. Yes, Aruka, go ahead.
With respect to the match.
Yes, go ahead.
With respect to the match, okay? If you read on Sunday Mirror, Newsday, you will see an article written by Susan Mills. Newsday, an article written by Susan Mills. You read that news. You read that article very carefully, and that tells the whole story about Keith
What does she say? What does she say?
He not fit. Every word come out his mouth is hate, vengeance, as though he could seize power tomorrow morning. Things don't work like that. You have to get together with the people, but every word come out of his mouth is as though he could seize power in the morning. Walk inside the Red House, walk in and seize every ministry. This type of hostile activity. That is Mr. Rowley's idea. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. But, I think Dr. Rowley is certainly earning his pay. Dr. Rowley, of course, is keeping things burning. He's marching, he's moving, because you get the sense that much of the moves by government, by central government now, can erode the hold that the PNM has had since 1962. By decentralizing and moving people away, moving the government out. But he's been earning his pay, don't you agree?
Correct.
You see, Hansi, and you have raised this point of decentralization.
Yeah.
What too is wrong with the happiness of people? When you decentralize, you provide service very effectively and efficiently to people.
But these people don't vote for Dr. Rowley.
Right?
Yeah.
But, when you decentralize, you provide all these services to people. You make it effectively, you make it efficient. And nothing is wrong with that. And this is what about the happiness of the people and all government. And this government, under Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, that is what it's about, to make the lives of people better, make them more happy.
Dr. Rowley, unfortunately, I think, gentlemen, this is my own independent assessment now, is that I think he's caught now in the situation whereby he inherited a government that has been accused of rural neglect, government has been accused of tribalism, and for him to change that in 2 or 3 years, almost 50 years of history, is going to be difficult. The last tenure of Mr. Manning didn't go well for him. For him to change that, and I believe in his heart I do believe, because if you sit down and you talk to Dr. Rowley, he's no foolish fellow. Not a stupid.
He's a good debater too.
And he's a good debater, brilliant debater. I think one of the best debaters I've ever seen. But he has inherited something there that's going to be hard to shake. It's going to be difficult to shake because people are still hurt by rural neglect. Years of rural neglect.
They have not changed their paradigm for the 40, 50 years they were in office. They remain the same.
Yeah.
Actually, this, you know what caught me in that march, honestly? It still hurt me.
Yeah.
When I saw my good friend,
Ramesh Lawrence Maharaj?
Mr. Ramesh Lawrence,
Well,
one of the Attorney General who we actually admired.
We have two callers, do we? Two callers standing by. Let me take these two callers. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello,
Yes,
good
sir.
morning.
Good morning, sir.
A few months ago, a government minister declared that the Carrera prison and the prison on Frederick Street will be relocated to Chaguanas. And I think he mentioned the former Woodford Lodge factory site. Now, I would like to know how the mayors feel about this, because I feel this will really stymie the development of Chaguanas, and they should resist it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Let's take this caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Humphrey.
Good morning, sir. Where are you calling from?
I want to speak about the field march Friday a little.
Yeah.
If we look at what the mayor said about 10,000, that is less than 100 people from 41 constituencies. And if we look at the 112 seats in the last general election, we will see that 8 came from the Port of Spain area. And if 8 came from the Port of Spain area, they should have won with 10,000 votes. So that is 80,000 votes. So which means to say the PNM support in Port of Spain did not come out to support Rowley. So Rowley has failed, Abdullah has failed, Roche has failed, Cabrera has failed, and Fix PNT has failed because they could not get more than 10,000 people out. They should have at least 100,000 people. If they ramp for the Spain, San Fernando, and Arima giving out handout, they fail miserably. I say my government is intact and strong. Thank you, Hamilton.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
As far as the prison is concerned, I think that has been shelved. There is no talk about that anymore. What I know that is coming to Central is our courthouse. The new courthouse will be located in Carsonfield.
The new courthouse?
Yes, the new courthouse.
Entire Justice Center.
Center.
Justice Center?
Center, yes.
Do we have the plans?
Something like the Tonapuna Court, first, second, third court and so on. That will be located in Carsonfield. It is in the budget for next year.
But what about
as far as the
jail?
prison? As far as the prisons, I think that has taken back burner.
Okay.
So I don't think that will become, because there are a lot of, the chamber has protested. They protested that.
Why? What
Well,
was the
the
rationale?
same thing as the caller mentioned. Or how is it a new city is being developed now and you're going to bring a prison inside Chaguanas, as I mentioned, Woodford Lodge. But Woodford Lodge has already been claimed. Actually, we have Woodford Lodge earmarked for the new Chaguanas market. And the Ministry of Tertiary Education, Safaz Al-Karim, has already taken 8 acres there for motor vehicle repairs, automobile repairs. And some of the large companies in Trinidad are partnering the government with that. You know, Macal is one of those companies.
Toyota, Macal.
Yeah, I can't remember the companies where students can go there and learn how to repair motor cars, mechanic and so on, electrical work and so on.
Yeah.
The Saras has been turned and the area has been cleared. So Woodford Lodge has already been taken care of. So if the prison is coming, that is out of it. Clean.
I'm a little concerned about that. Let me take this caller. Hello, good morning. Yes, sir. Where are you calling from?
Good morning. I'm calling from Kunupia.
Kunupia. Yes, Kunupia. Go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor. Good morning, Mr. Budan.
Good morning.
The courthouse that you're boasting about in Carsonfield, I wish you guys all the luck. I just hope never to see it. I want to talk to Mr. Mayor about the road problem we have in Endeavour, from Endeavour to Monroe Road, where the WASA dug up the road, they repair, and they repair the repairs. They've repaired the repairs about 3 times. And it's depressing very, very deep, about 2 feet in some places. And I don't know if WASA is doing this. Why the borough doesn't have a representative to look into our problems as per what WASA is doing. Because this has been going on for a long time now and is damaging our vehicles and so on.
Right.
That's one. The other thing is, Ansley, remember I told you about the grass?
Yeah, on the side, yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Mr.
raised
Mayor,
with yourself.
Did you answer that question from Mr. Hansley?
Yeah, well, he's here now, so let me see if he can answer it for you. All right? Ask him the question. Just
the
remind him
same
of the
problem last
situation.
time you were on air here, following Mr. Ramachan, I asked a question about the people cutting the grass on the western side of the Bridle Road. And we're living on the eastern side. And these people are cutting, that's the border of Jack Warner. And when you ask them, they're saying that that's the orders they were given. And to me, it seems they're cutting the road as a border, right? They should cut either side. Because on the eastern side, it's Mr. KD's side. But I don't expect them to go into Mr. KD's side. But I expect them to cut the road with both sides as they go along, and as cleaning the drain and so on.
What road is this?
Bridle.
Bridle Road,
Bridle Road.
Endeavour
Okay.
Road.
Right.
So Bridle/Endeavour.
All right. Thank
Okay,
you.
no, last point.
Uh-huh.
I had raised this already, and we're not even to be getting anywhere with it. The garbage in the Marching Road. People are, I mean, let's face it, we dealing and we live with nasty people. People are passing through there and dropping their bags of garbage. If you can clean a little section in between the garden area there and put a sign for people to throw their garbage there, it might not sound very nice, but it will help people throwing garbage, bags and old tires and all these things on the side and clogging up the drain, leading to flooding and so on. I live here, I see it, it bothers me. It affects me and it affects the villagers here. All we're asking, if you clean a place and advise the public to drop their garbage there, because let's deal with the facts. We are dealing with nasty people. They will not even, we have some of the best garbage disposal in the country. Yet these people still have the time to go and throw their garbage in the cane, right?
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Yep. You wanna
Let me
that,
answer the
Your
first,
Worship?
the WASA. Yes, we are aware of what WASA is doing. We work in continuing with each other. We speak to each other. What is happening, Hansley, when Mr. Warner was Minister of Works and Infrastructure, he gave the instruction that no roads will be paved unless WASA lines run.
Yeah.
And this continues to be so under the new Minister of Works and Infrastructure. For a matter of fact, Old Southern Main Road into Couva, right now they're digging up at the entire road has been dug up, but they're going to pave it. I believe they're starting next week.
Yeah.
The same thing with the Endeavour, that stretch
That
that's
Bridle
going
Road.
right. They're digging it up now, putting the pipelines, allow it to settle a little while. What was supposed to restore the bad part, and then the paving will come. So that will be done. Wait, and it will happen. As I mentioned before, no road will be paved until the WASA lines, if there are lines there, unless those lines are put in place, no roads will be paved. But they will be paved after the lines are put in place.
The other issue about the grass and the cutting, what is happening there is that it would have been those CPEP contractors, and they have demarcation in terms of how they should be able to work, right? What we'll do is that we'll look into it and find out exactly what it is, because that Bridle Road is a constituency divider between Shawanas East and West. So if a contractor from Shawanas West is working, you wouldn't come across the Shawanas East. Now, I mean...
So where's the Shawanas East contractor in all
right.
of this? Then?
So, and it wouldn't be a time that both contractors will work at the same time, or the workers will work at the same time. Yeah. Right? So there is a problem. We'll talk to the
really jokey,
the CPEP people, and try and see what arrangement can be made to have those things done. Because it's unfair to the thing and unfair to the community that one side is clean and the other side.
And the bush going up on the next side, you know what I mean?
No, it's unfair.
I mean, the fella across the road can't see neighbor.
That is joke. Sometimes you clean the drain up to one spot and you see the other side where the water has to go.
Yeah.
It belongs to somebody else. So that it's not a joke. I mean, it's fun. No, there's one question the gentleman posed, and I am very much concerned about that. The garbage collection. Honestly, under recurrent in the borough, we receive $78 million. Nearly half of that go towards sanitation.
Really?
$38 million per year towards collecting garbage. And it hurts me, gentleman mentioned, to see garbage side the road. Listen what happened. The garbage truck passed Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The garbage bag, it passes on a Monday. Sometime as soon as the garbage truck passes, the rubbish comes. Knowing that the garbage truck was passed back until Wednesday. So the rubbish remain there, dog pull it apart, scatters.
Well,
The gentleman is quite right. So what we are doing right now, the corporation, the letters are already printed. We are writing each household, telling them when the
But
garbage.
they know that. Why
know
it is that they don't have
They
the
just
civic responsibility?
They don't want it in the house, so they throw it outside the road.
But the same thing obtains in Faizabad? It's the same arrangement in Faizabad.
So
in fact,
we
I
are-
think the frequency with which they come there is probably less. And if you drive through Faizabad, the place clean. People have their garbage out of just in time. So why it is that the people are not being civic-minded
more
to
so-
manage their own garbage?
So in some cases, the businessmen in Shagwans, they are very guilty. Now, what we are instituting, and the Minister of Local Government has mentioned to us, we are bringing more litter wardens. Brother, if the rubbish truck pass at 10 o'clock, we have a regular time, we ask them to pass before 10 o'clock, and you drop your rubbish there at 12 o'clock, you'll get a ticket. Littering the street.
And I think they started at 1,000.
At $1,000. Yes. Let's take this caller. We have two standing by. Good morning. Hello. Yes, good morning. Where are you calling from?
Hi, good morning from Charleville.
Charleville. Yes, Charleville.
Good morning. When you're coming off the highway on Monroe Road, onto Monroe Road flyover,
Yeah.
that sinkhole they have on the side there, it was, I think they fill it with dirt. They didn't fill it with a proper thing. The hole is back there again on this right-hand side of the road to turn off. When you come from the highway, you come up the incline on the right. That is sinking. It was patched, but I don't know what they patched it. And those people can't be humans. You can't tell me you getting paid to patch something that, the hole is there. And then by right here by that Chinese restaurant to go into Felicity right there, the hole is sinking there again. Everywhere was a touch. And this has been good. This is more than a year now, so I don't know how long they expect that,
All right.
On Caroni Savannah Road, it's deplorable.
Okay.
It's
All right,
just
ma'am.
patches, and the patches are sinking.
All right, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Have
We'll
a good
follow
day.
it for you.
No, I think-
Let's
no,
take
no,
this
no.
other caller. Hello. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Very good. Thank you, sir. Where are you calling from?
Shagwanis.
Chaguanas. Go ahead, sir.
I have a question for the mayor.
Yes, morning.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Question. I'd like to find out about the Shagwanis market. Are they moving, and if so, when?
Okay.
And the next question is, what happened with the businessmen who are renting in that area, and how do they approach the landlord, because the business would fall drastically?
Repeat that. We're not sure what the question is. What's the question?
There's a few questions. One of the questions is the market going to be...
Yeah, we understood that part. Yes, sir, we understood that part. Your second question. Sir, listen to me on your phone, not your TV. I keep saying that. Yeah, listen to me on your phone.
Okay.
Yeah. What's the second question? You're saying that businesses will be affected by what?
By the market moving.
Okay.
And if so, how do we contacting our landlords to where we are paying a lot of rent because of when we signed the contract, it was very busy, and now when the market moved, the rent will remain the same and the businesses will be gone. How do we survive?
All right. Thank you.
Okay, firstly, what the market sells, the business houses do not sell.
Yeah.
Market don't sell clothes.
Right.
They probably sell little clothes on the upstairs. The market, the crowd at that market is usually attracted to the downstairs where they have vegetables and meat and fish and so on. Now, what has happened to that market, Hans? Over the years, that market has been there. But the market has, the capacity of the market has went beyond That market was built for 1,000 customers. They have 500 upstairs, 500 downstairs. Right now, there are over 2,000 people squeezed into that market. Ram, cram, pack. Actually, some of them are given tickets and so on for actually trespassing on the walkway and to the front of the market. When Caroni in 1975 closed down, a lot of people went into agriculture and they bring their produce to sell at the market.
Yeah.
So that market has to be expanded. It must be expanded. There's no room at the present site to extend that market, unless you go back to the story.
So you mentioned that you're proposing the Woodford Lodge area.
That is the area that is earmarked, but the physical infrastructure to get to the Woodford Lodge, all that will be developed. We are thinking about a market, and the ministers asked for 35-acre block in which to put the market, also areas for car park. It will not be a two-story market, it will be a flat market, air-conditioned with more space for vendors and so on. It will be a modern market comparable to any part of the world.
Are you going to close down this market?
No, no. The proposal for this present market, we do have the proposal, but we have to have more consultation with all the stakeholders.
Yeah.
But the proposed market at Woodford Lodge is a modern market mall where you will have all services. So our entire family could come there Saturday or Sunday. You will have shops, you will have restaurant, you know,
a food court,
play park, everything, a family-oriented type market. And the present structure we have proposed to do a one-stop shop for all government services. So you don't have to run from department to department, street to street, look for parking. You go to Ramsrand Street, you come to this Gaston Street here, you come to Montrose. All government services, as much as we could accommodate there, will be situated in one complete area. So you need like passport, you need ID cards, whatever social services, everybody will be housed in one area. And on the western side of the present market, we do like a 3 or 4 level
car
park.
Well, I think the caller's concern is that you'll be taking away the human traffic. And from what you're proposing there, I don't really see that actually happen. I don't know how moving the market is actually going to take people from coming into Chaguanas, because Chaguanas is constantly, is the busiest place I have ever seen throughout Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm not sure if you concur that moving the market is going to take away the human traffic, or is going to impact on the human traffic, because he sees the market as a supplement. The fact that people go there to buy vegetables ultimately will mean that they will have to traverse the area where his shop lies. So they'll stop in there. So he's got human traffic moving in and out. And by moving the market, it may present a lessening of that.
Added to that, the Chaguanas main road in the new land use plan, the main road has been recommended in that plan to be a pedestrian, no traffic. Actually pave that lovely, probably put tiles and so on as you have it away as a boulevard.
Yeah, boulevard.
As a boulevard, a walk through.
Well, that's going to be nice. So you're going to take cars from moving off there.
Correct. And you have little shops and so on in the middle selling food, and you know, as I see it away.
Yeah, we see it in Caracas, we see it in Italy, you see it in all over Europe.
And you know, we are changing Ramsarang Street now into a boulevard. Already started.
Ramsarang Street?
Ramsarang Street, next door. That is being worked on. It's costing us about $20 million. The street has been widened, you know, and some people have trespassed on the road. We are reclaiming the reserve.
Right.
And the road will be about 60 feet wide.
Well, that place has turned out to be a nice little, you got a nice number of bars there, right?
Yeah, but I didn't want to, I mean, as you hit it there, I didn't want to say that we want to make it the Arapita Avenue of Chaguanas.
Yeah.
But there are some really exciting plans and ideas of what's going to happen on that Ramsarang Street. There's going to be a 2-lane road, center
island, right?
Island with
trees.
You know, nice lantern type lights with trees. So it's a whole new development is going to take place in that Ramsarang Street
area. Right. Gentlemen, do we have another caller, Nige, standing by? No? Yes, we have one. And then for us, if we could put up the Sundar Popo video, because yesterday was his birth anniversary and we just wanted to pay a quick tribute to him. Did we get a hold of Dr. Munilal to get a reaction from Dr. Munilal? If you could ask Indira just to get a hold of Dr. Munilal, because he's one of the people who helped the commission and put the statue in place. And Sundar Popo, of course, was one of his constituents. Let's take this caller. Hello, good morning. Hello. Good morning, hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, ma'am, morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, morning, morning, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm calling from Shoguners.
Yes. Yeah, ma'am, don't listen to your TV. Please listen to me on your telephone, because you'll hear the delay and you'll just delay the conversation. So go ahead, listen to me on your phone, all right?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm calling concerning a road in Endeavour.
Yes.
Yeah, it's in Endeavour Road. That's the second S-bend before Juniam Junction.
Yeah.
Endeavour Road in going down to Juniam Junction, right by the S-bend on your left-hand side. Now, I've been to and from the borough, just asking to get this road fixed.
Right.
You know, help in fixing it. Which Mr. Bodan and Mr. Joey say they would help us fix it.
What's the problem, ma'am? What's the problem with the road?
The road is a mess. Nobody can get in.
What's the name of the road?
What's the name of the road, ma'am?
Well, the road didn't have any name, and
Right.
I put the road name Mr. Bodan Drive. They
wanna
say
call it
it
after
was
you.
a private road, so I had also named the road, and
What are they accusing you of?
we'll end up breaking up the sign and thing, and it remain as the drive.
All right. Well, let me see if he can give you an answer on this, ma'am.
Well, actually, at the corner, it had a guy that buy the land, and he came out on the road, and so the road pushed to the drain more. It have no drainage, it have nothing, and when rainfall, the road is like a river. It have caiman, it have snakes, it have everything in the road.
You live on that
It's
road?
hard to get in and get out, and
Okay.
they said they would help us fix it. And up to this day, there's nothing done about the road.
All right.
Ma'am, let me answer you. That's a lovely question. I like that question. Ansley, you know what has happened in Shogwanas? There are a lot of people who came to live in Shogwanas and went into buying lands from proprietors who sell land without the proprietor doing the necessary infrastructure. No land, no developer can sell a piece of land for housing unless they have the proper infrastructure. Roads, water, and lights. Otherwise, you'll have difficulty in getting your plan. What has happened? People went into this private development, buy the lands because they get it cheap. The developer says,
Put up the house.
You put up the house, or the borrower will fix it. And this is what is happening. We have lots of complaints, like what they call many complaints, where people, lands where, if it is developed, it will sell for $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a lot. Undeveloped, they give it for $10,000.
Yeah.
Now you to catch. That is what the ladies complain about. Private road, no name.
So they're putting it up, they build it, and then they say, well, the borough will fix it anyway.
Will fix it.
You know what she's talking about? I
but
see you laughing.
No. What happened is that she came to the borough. The mayor wasn't there. I spoke to her, said that she wanted. I wasn't fully aware because it's not my area that I represent. It was another area, Councillor Joey Samuel. And I did try to assist, by sending some material for her because, the plight of everybody, they need to have their things done, right?
Correct.
But what I was laughing about is that, lo and behold, that a sign went up as Bodan affiliate. So I don't know if the nice fast track the process and get to the road.
Call it after the deputy mayor, we will get it fixed.
No,
but we will assist. We will assist.
Yeah, what the deputy mayor is saying, we at the corporation, where people live, we try to make them comfortable.
Yeah.
It's not their fault, in the anxiety they went and buy without knowing the repercussions and so on. So we are trying to help.
Well, people know now they have a government that they could put them on, you could put pressure on them, put pressure.
Yes.
A government of delivery.
Nagisa go fix it.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do it. Bodilal will come and fix it, you know, and they know that. Unfortunately, that's the way we think. Let's go to the video, gentlemen. I want to show this video. For us, if we could also bring it up here so that their worship can see it. Yesterday was the birth anniversary of Sundar Popo, one of the great sons of the soil. He died as a result of diabetes, complications due to diabetes. He was the father of Chutney here in Trinidad and Tobago and Chutney Soca, and he's considered to be one of the most revered people here in TNT, one of the icons of Trinidad and Tobago, and he was contained recently in a publication sponsored by First Citizens Bank. Let's go with it. And if we could bring up the audio, just go back up to the start, will you? If you could just go back up to the start, gentlemen. We missed the start for us. So let's just go back up to the start, and if we could hear it in the studio here. Here it is, sponsored by Dr. Rudal Monilal, a tribute to Sundar Popo.
नाना नानी घर से निकले धीरे धीरे चलती गई मथुरा के दुकान में दोनों जाके बैठ गए नाना चले आ नाना नानी घर से निकले धीरे धीरे चलती गई मथुरा के दुकान में दोनों
King, like my boy Sundar.
May 29th, 2011, David Junction, Respect was unveiled. Who we blessing? Who we blessing? Who we blessing? Sundar. Who we blessing? Who we blessing? Who we blessing?
That's a real winner, boy.
Look a winner. All you beat that. Chris, that tribute to Sundar Boy, I like it too bad.
It's a tribute to an icon, just like you started.
Popo, of course, he was born yesterday's birth anniversary down there in a humble home in Barrackpore. Went on to become a national and international icon, recognized throughout the world, and of course recorded together with the great, was it not Pankaj Udas? I'm trying to remember.
Kanchan.
Yeah, well, Kanchan, he influenced Kanchan and so many others. I'm trying to remember the album and the singer that he recorded with. But anyway, in his memory, Dr. Munilal is not answering his phone. I wonder if Doc came back yet, because I know that he was on a special assignment abroad. And of course, I would have loved him to comment on it.
I think that's a beautiful tribute for a great singer.
Yeah, it is. You went to the funeral, didn't you?
Yes, I was at the funeral. The week too.
At Sundar.
Yes, we went to the week there. There was a political meeting at the Barrackpore Secondary School, and from there we went.
Okay.
Of course, whole contingent.
Yeah.
200 of us.
Who was there? Basdev Pandey was there that
He
day?
was there. He was there.
Right. Okay. Good. And that must have been a very special moment. You know, it's good that we could have recognized Sundar Popo, but I think it's critical and important that it be taught in schools as part of civics and part of social studies. Heroes and icons of Trinidad and Tobago, so that we don't lose. Look, Stalin, another icon, another great icon in Trinidad. I don't want it that we have to do a tribute to Stalin after he passed away.
No, before.
You know, let's do it. You know, let's
Just before
do
you
it
close, I know time is against him.
Yeah.
Probably Diwali in Nagar. We should have mentioned that that is one of the biggest shows we have in Shawana's presently. Going for 8-9 days. You were there last night.
Yes.
Most fantastic presentation.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people there, both government and opposition were present at that launching. I think the talent show was exceedingly well put. We'd like to congratulate the NCIC. And for those who are listening and viewing, the Shagwanas Borough, we have a booth there too, with the Ministry of Local Government. Dr. Rambachan, with his ministry, has put up a booth there, tracing the history of local government. So we are appealing to you, visit the booth and learn about the services that are offered by the borough. There are people there around the clock. We'd like to congratulate Mr. Devkinanand Sharma also on his lettered doctorate.
Yes.
It was mentioned last night. I think it's well deserving. The media didn't carry it much.
Right.
I didn't see it on the media. But I think
from the University of the West Indies, is it?
Yes.
Honorary doctorate?
Honorary doctorate.
Yes, that's brilliant.
I think Hans also has one.
That's right, as well as Dr. Kamaluddin Mohammed. Kamaluddin Mohammed also received that.
Really,
I saw Dr. Hanuman Singh there last night.
Yeah, he was there last night. And it continues. I don't know how many nights we'll make it, but Mr. Budani is in charge of the booth.
I saw an impressive group that I'm going to be bringing on, the Indian Women Group of Trinidad and Tobago. And the young lady there now, incidentally, is the niece of Narayan Singh.
Okay.
Dr. Caroline Singh, and she's the president of the Indian Women Group. And we're going to be bringing them here because I want to find out about their work. And I said, well, that's laudable that, you know, you would form yourself into an organization as such, as Indian women in Trinidad doing philanthropic work. You know,
one comment was made last night, I believe, by Swami Ananda, where for 26 years, this Diwali celebration, the Nagar actually went on without a drop of alcohol being served, compound.
Yes.
Without any meat being served. I think that is fantastic.
I have no problem with the meat.
And if you look at the crowd, behavior last night, everybody just moving, they're speaking one another, enjoying themselves. Not a single incident. We must congratulate the police too.
Well, my good friend Kiran Singh and I went down and we visited
the traffic
place
warden. You know, we have the traffic wardens there who are doing a fantastic job.
Yeah.
And they must be congratulated. And I think that will be the premier show for the year. From what I'm looking at the itinerary for the cultural aspect, people from India, I believe we have some from Suriname, Guyana, even Jamaica.
In terms of attendance and participation, I think the only thing that runs second to Carnival is Diwali Nagar.
It's really fantastic.
In terms of participation, you know, the amount of people that filter through there.
And it's a mixed crowd. The diversity is seen there.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
And Hansi, very quickly, just in addition to Diwali Nagar, and the mayor would know this too, is that our Shagwanas community is predominantly, look forward for Diwali and is a Diwali community.
Yes.
And then you will have the showpiece in Felicity.
Yeah.
And which is, and all over the borough of Shagwanas, they're going to be Diwali celebrations.
Yes,
so who cannot reach the Nagar or they miss the Nagar, there are a lot of celebrations throughout the borough of Shagwanas.
Splendid, magnificent. Well, gentlemen, I want to offer you a little bit. This is in your
Bakery
borough.
treats, yes.
Bakery treats. Nice, if we could get a shot of this. They send pone for we today. Lovely, delicious pone. And of course, they're sending it because of Diwali. They're not sending any of the meats.
Correct. I'm glad you introduced what they have in Nagaria too.
Of course we do, man. We do as when in Rome, or when in Shagwanas do as the Shagwanas people do.
And as you close, Hans, I want to endorse what the Prime Minister saw the headline today regards the politics in Trinidad.
Yeah.
Prime Minister, let not your heart be troubled.
Let not your heart be
troubled. Don't allow that march to get into your head and be frightened. I think those fellows had to buy a lot of Reebok Adidas to continue. Like Johnny Walker, keep on walking.
Keep on walking. Yes. All right, well, that's it. Time for us to close. Your Worship, thank you so much. Your
Pleasure.
Worship, Gopal Budan, and congratulations again. We have so much to discuss. And also to Gunjan Sharma, thank you ever so much for chatting with us during the course of the morning period. A descendant of the Gandhis here in Trinidad, and a member of the Freedom Fighters of India, now practicing law, a descendant of that family. And also for those of you who took the time out to view us and to call in and on the morning poll, we'll see you in the morning. Thanks to Faraz Ali directing this morning, Nigel Paul in the studio. Of course, we've got Francis on audio. We've got Valmiki in master control. Indira Dukaran working in the newsroom and, of course, helping us to produce the show, producing literally. And, of course, Lawrence Harjun. See you tomorrow. Take care.